because what it means effectively is that households are getting crushed more and more by the gap.
And so when the government's out there spending lots of money, it usually ends up that, okay, either the consumers are going to catch that in the form of higher wages and greater share of the economy, or it's going to be business catching it, and the business is way better at catching government spending than consumers are. And we're not sort of looking at what wage growth is sort of is coming off, and so it's a pretty good bet that when governments are spending money, corporates are going to be improving their profits with it.
And just on the money supply issue, I've got this data for Australia that shows that if you look back from 1970 onwards, you can see there that the Oz M3 money, which is the top one, and the Australian property market is pretty much traveling in the same direction, whereas wages growth is nowhere near. And there you go. There's your problem, right? And that's really the issue, that the money supply and the growth of company profits can go in one direction, but if the wages growth is going in a different direction, then long term we have a problem, because what it means effectively is that households are getting crushed more and more by the gap.
And that's in a big sense, big picture sense as well. This is an inequality. We've got all this money, extra money in the economy, and it's out there being spent, but it's not ending up in terms of higher wages, which sort of is a bit of an equalizer in terms of spreading that money out. It's ending up in higher asset prices. And the issue then is the asset prices go up. One group of people gets really rich, the wage earners don't. And that group of people who gets really rich then goes, I've got nothing else to do with, I'm getting more and more money coming in. I've got nothing else to do with it. So I'll just go out and buy more assets with it, and more stocks and more bonds and more equities. And so it's a question about, is some of the excess valuations we see in markets, how much of that is down to greater money supply and more inequality.
So that sector's all right, but at the end of the day, ordinary people seem to me to being left out in the cold here, and there's no real intent to change.